guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be making spaghetti sauce. Right now I'll be showing you guys the ingredients that I will be using today to make the spaghetti sauce. So as you can see in the video, I lined up every single thing and I'm showing you the names of every single spices that I'm using. And the spaghetti sauce that I'm using, the name is Prego. As you can see, I'm also using onions. I cut up onions. In case you don't want onions, it's fine. So in this, okay, you will need brown ground meat. I'm sorry guys, I can't even talk. Ground beef. But for those of you who doesn't have ground beef, it's okay. You don't have to use it. So you're gonna put oregano. Just sprinkle like some oregano on top of it, and let it, like, you have to put it under like a low heat. Don't cook it in a high heat so that it doesn't burn. You add a tiny bit of salt, like sprinkle everything you're putting. You have to sprinkle it. And just so you guys know, if you don't have, for my Nigerian friends who doesn't have ground beef in Nigeria, you guys can use tomatoes. You guys doesn't have to use what we use here. Tomatoes, like, blends tomatoes, and you don't have to use any meat. Or you can use like chicken, or you can use fish. It doesn't really matter, as long as something like protein to go with it, it's fine. And for these spices, some of them you can't find them in Nigeria. By the way, the basil leaf is like scent leaf in Nigeria. Yeah, so if you guys can't find like the actual names, it's okay. You can actually use thyme. For my Nigerian friends, you can actually use thyme and curry to just do it. It's okay to, like, to add in the spaghetti sauce. It's fine. You don't necessarily, oh, look at our dog. Okay, you don't necessarily need everything that I use in this video. All right, so for now I'm gonna let it cook for like about 3 minutes. As you can see, like, the water is like coming up. I add black pepper. Just everything you're putting, you have to put it in a you have to add like a small amount. Don't add too much so that it doesn't overpower the food that you're cooking. It doesn't come out too much. So I'm gonna like, I'm like cutting up the meat so that it's not all bulky in the sauce. So I'm gonna let it cook for about 2 minutes, and now I will drain it. You always have to drain it. You always have to drain the fats. The fat is not good. You have to drain it. So after I drain it, because as you can see, like, now, like, I'm draining the whole thing so that I can set it aside, and then start making the sauce. So now I'm gonna add oil. By the way, I didn't measure this. I'm sorry guys, I didn't measure it, but you cannot actually like gauge it. So after I put it, I have to put, like, onions. It's okay if you don't like onions. You don't have to use onions. You don't necessarily have to use onions. You like let it sit to like cook for like, to fry for like 2 minutes. You can let it fry for at least like 3 minutes. It's okay. And then I have to pour this sauce. For my Nigerian friends, after you blend the tomatoes, you pour it. So you don't have to use the same sauce that I use over here. So I will turn everything around. I'm sorry, I would stir everything right now. So as you can see, the thing is looking good. Yep, trust me, this is going to be amazing. When I tell you this, it's going to be amazing. Trust me. Look at that. And by the way, you always have to use spatula. Don't use spoons that will scratch up your pot. Now I'm adding rosemary. For people who doesn't have rosemary, it's okay. Just add curry and thyme. Nothing else. You don't have to add everything. Look at, I'm adding time right now. You don't have to add everything that I have in this video. But if you do, fortunately, if you do, it's your own is good. You know, your own is good. So, whew, this is looking good. Okay, this is looking good. Oh, by the way, I love parsley. Parsley is a very good spice to always use. I always use it in my eggs. I always use it in my stew. Like everything I'm making, it's really good. It has like all this like, and also rosemary. Rosemary is good. Like it brings out like the taste of the food. Like it brings it out a lot. Trust me. Now, as you can see, I'm about to add the Maggi cubes. So I added 4. It comes like 2 in 1. If you're making lesser than this, don't add 4, please. You can add 2. But I'm making a lot. I'm making two cans, so that's why I added 4. And I'm gonna let it sit to cook. So I gave it about 25 minutes to cook. Now I'm gonna stir it so you guys can take a closer look at what I'm doing, how I'm stirring it. Don't stir it like vigorously. You have to stir it like very gentle so that it doesn't splash on your face or the whole place. I don't like to clean, so actually not like I don't like to clean. I don't like to clean, but I mean if I make a mess, I have to clean it up. But I don't like to make messes, so I keep like you have to keep stirring it a lot. Every 2 minutes or every 5 minutes, come and stir it because you don't want it to burn. You always have to stir it a lot. So, and by the way, you have to taste it after like stirring it, because once the thing is starting to like turn red, because before it's like light red, so once it's starting to like turn like darker red, you have to start tasting it to see if the spices that you added was enough. If they were not, you have to add more. If they are, you don't have to. Like in my video, like I tasted it and it wasn't enough, so I have to add more. And as you can see, I have not added salt inside the sauce. You know why? Because I added salt in the meat. I don't want to. I will add salt after I put the meat, because I want to be able to like turn it and see if the salt will be enough. If the salt I put already in the meat is enough. If it's not, then I can add sauce. So after I stir it, you have to add 1 cup of water, because when you add 1 cup of water, it's like it's giving the sauce like room to like cook some more, to mix in with the meat, so that the taste of the sauce will go inside the meat, so that the meat is not tasting different and the sauce is tasting different. You have to give it some room to taste the same. So I added 1 cup. You always have to add 1 cup of water. If you're making lesser than this, add half a cup of water. So I let it sit, and now I'm gonna turn it. You always have to turn it so that it doesn't burn, and make sure you turn from the bottom up. The reason is because you are trying to get the ones that are stuck at the bottom to come up, so that they're not burning at the bottom. So you always have to keep turning it. And as you can see, I tasted my food so that I see if there was any salt. And look, I added a little bit of salt because the salt wasn't enough. So you always have to wait to the end to add extra salt, so that you don't make it too much in your food and only you will be eating it. And you don't want that. I know you don't want that. This is what I made. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share with your friends. Oh, don't forget to turn on the notification bell, please. Thank you guys.